Satraps were the governors of the provinces of the ancient Median and Achaemenid empires, and in several of their successors, such as the Sasanian Empire and the Hellenistic empires. The word satrap is also often used metaphorically in modern literature to refer to world leaders or governors who are heavily influenced by larger world superpowers or hegemonies and act as their surrogates. Etymology. The word satrap originates ultimately from Old Persian xsa kapavan, Sanskrit kshatrapam or ksh trapar, from xsaca and pavan. In Greek, the word was rendered as satrapes, which later borrowed into Latin as satrapes, from a Western Iranian cognate xsa theta rapa. In modern Persian, the descendant of xsa theta rapavan is Shaban, but the components have undergone semantic shifts, so the word now means town-keeper. Medo-Persian satraps. The first large-scale use of satrapies, or provinces, originates from the conception of the First Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great, beginning at around 530 BCE. However, provincial organization originated during the Median era from at least 648 BCE. Up to the time of the conquest of Media by Cyrus the Great, emperors ruled the conquered lands, through client kings and governors. The chief difference was that in Persian culture the concept of kingship was indivisible from divinity. Divine authority validated the divine right of kings. The 26 satraps established by Cyrus were never kings, but viceroys ruling in the king's name, although in political reality many grabbed any chance to carve themselves an independent power base. Darius the Great gave the satrapies a definitive organization, increased their number to 36 and fixed their annual tribute. The satrap was in charge of the land that he owned as an administrator, and found himself surrounded by an all but royal court. He collected the taxes, controlled the local officials and the subject tribes and cities, and was the supreme judge of the province before whose chair every civil and criminal case could be brought. He was responsible for the safety of the roads, and had to put down brigands and rebels. He was assisted by a council of Persians, to which also provincials were admitted, and was controlled by a royal secretary and by emissaries of the king, especially the eye of the king, who made an annual inspection and exercised permanent control. There were further checks on the power of each satrap. Besides his secretarial scribe, his chief financial official and the general in charge of the regular army of his province and of the fortresses were independent of him and reported directly to the Shah, periodically, in person. But the satrap was allowed to have troops in his own service. The great satrapies were often divided into smaller districts, the governors of which were also called satraps and also hyparchs. The distribution of the great satrapies was changed repeatedly, and often two of them were given to the same man. As the provinces were the result of consecutive conquests, both primary and sub-satrapies were often defined by former states or ethno-religious identity. One of the keys to the Achaemenid success was their open attitude to the culture and religion of the conquered people. So the Persian culture was the one most affected as the great king endeavored to melt elements from all his subjects into a new imperial style, especially at his capital Persepolis. Whenever central authority in the empire weakened, the satrap often enjoyed practical independence, especially as it became customary to appoint him also as general-in-chief of the army district, contrary to the original rule. When his office became hereditary, the threat to the central authority could not be ignored. Rebellions of satraps became frequent from the middle of the 5th century BCE. Darius I struggled with widespread rebellions in the satrapies, and under Artaxerxes II occasionally the greater part of Asia Minor and Syria was in open rebellion. The last great rebellions were put down by Artaxerxes III. Hellenistic satraps. The satrapic administration and title were retained, even for Greco-Macedonian incumbents, by Alexander the Great, who conquered the Achaemenid Empire, and by his successors, the Diadochi, who carved it up, especially in the Seleucid Empire. where the satrap generally was designated as strategos, but their provinces were much smaller than under the Persians. They would ultimately be replaced by conquering empires, especially the Parthians, Parthian and Sasanian satraps. In the Parthian Empire, the king's power rested on the support of noble families who ruled large estates, and supplied soldiers and tribute to the king. City-states within the empire enjoyed a degree of self-government, and paid tribute to the king. Administration of the Sassanid Empire was considerably more centralized than that of the Parthian Empire. The semi-independent kingdoms and self-governing city-states of the Parthian Empire was replaced with a system of royal cities, which served as the seats of centrally appointed governors called sharabs, as well as the location of military garrisons. Sharabs ruled both the city and the surrounding rural districts. Exceptionally, the East Roman Empire also adopted the title satrap for the semi-autonomous princes that governed one of its Armenian provinces. The satrapiri, Western satraps. The Western satraps or kshatrapa were Saka rulers in the western and central part of the Sindh region of Pakistan, and the Saurashtra and Malwa regions of western India. They were contemporaneous with the Kushans, who ruled the northern part of the subcontinent from the area of Peshawar and were possibly their overlords, and with the Satavahana, who ruled in central India to their south and east, and the Kushan state to their immediate west. Satraps today. It is also used in modern times to refer to the loyal subservient lieutenants or clients of some powerful figure, in politics or business. In the Portuguese and in the Spanish language, the word satrapa carries not only the aforementioned ancient historical meaning, but in modern usage it also applies to people who abuse power or authority. It can refer as well to those living in luxurious and ostentatious conditions, or to individuals who act astutely and even disloyally. The title is also used by the College of Pataphysics as transcendent satrap for certain of its members, among which were counted such peoples as Marcel Duchamp, Jean Baudrillard and the Marx brothers. In the Serbian language, satrap is used to mock a person who displays servile tendencies to an authority figure.